G'day and welcome to 4x4 Adventure Club. I'm JB and this is part 2 of our Australia Day long weekend high country trip. As you saw last week, we went from Walhalla to Licola, and this episode we're going to be heading from Licola onto Dargo. We're going to start off, we've done a bit of a drive from Licola and we're at Howard's Hut, so yeah, let's see what we get up to from here. Well, we're just about to leave Howard Hut on our way to Zeka Spur Tk, so stick around. Well, we've just come off Zeka Spur Tk on a one-gator road. We're going to just find a campsite for the night. Well, after leaving base camp from last night on the Walhalla track by the river, we've left this morning and our aim is to make it to the Dargo River Inn. So yeah, let's see what we can find in between. Well, after leaving the Licola this morning via Howard's Hut, we're going to stop for lunch and we'll catch you after the break.
Hi guys, Adam here from ADM Motors and Nuts About 4-wheel drive. Just wanted to talk to you today about tyre pressures and some of the reasons as to why we let our tyres down. Main reason is obviously for traction and that, but there are a few other reasons too. When we let our tyres down and we're actually going over things like rocks or sticks or what have you out on the tracks, it's actually more likely the tyre will actually mould over the rock, over the stick, whatever it may be that you're driving over, and therefore you probably end up with less punches when you're driving. It protects the tyre, looks after the tyre and stops potential punches. Other reason as well is that the tyre itself will actually bulge and conform to the track, transferring less shock through to the suspension, looking after the car and that as well, because the tyre will actually absorb it. But one of the main things that I wanted to do today is actually give you a little bit of a visual on what actually happens when you let tyre pressures down. Basically what I've done here is I've got tyre deflator set up. We're sitting roughly on about 44 psi at the moment. I've dropped a ruler down in the front, I've dropped a ruler down in the back, and I've marked it for you so you can actually see where the marks are, and in the back as well. What I'm going to do is I'm going to slowly let the tyres down and actually then mark it again at a different tyre per PSI, just so that you can see the difference. Generally speaking, when I go out, I sit roughly around 22 PSI. So what I'm going to do is drop straight down from that to 22 PSI. That's pretty much on 22 PSI right now. So I'm just going to take my measurements again and give you a little bit of a visual demonstration as to what happens with the tyre as you let the tyre pressures down. If I drop my ruler from the front to the back here, from the side as well, and on the back, and mark it again. You can quite clearly see on the actual marks on the ground that we've actually gained not only side expansion of the tyre because the tyre is bulged on the sides, but our tyre is actually starting to get longer as well. So most people sort of always you can visually see that the tyre is bulging on the sides, but people forget that the tyre doesn't only bulge, but it actually gets physically longer as well. The more tyre you can have on the ground, the more traction you're going to have, better for the environment and also a lot easier on the car. There's nothing wrong with dropping tyre pressures down further. Once you get, I probably don't normally go below sort of 16, but if you're stuck in sand or something like that, you might go further down to sort of 8 psi. Let's have another measurement, have a look and see what happens when you drop from the 22 psi down to 16. Right, I'll take my measurements again at 16 psi. And again, what I'll do is I'll drop it down to 8 psi and just show you what it that's now sitting at 8 psi. So what we've actually seen now is that the tyre is bulging a lot on the sides. There's no question, you can actually physically see that. But the tyre's actually got longer as well. Remember our first mark started off at 44 psi, which is that first mark here. Right? Then we moved to 22 psi, which is there. Then we went down to 16, which is there, and also 8 psi. So bulging on the side, we can see we started up here, and at 8 psi we've ended up over here. So not only has the tyre gone wider, which is physically, you can see because it's bulging, but it's actually gone longer as well. Again, more surface area of the tyre on the ground, better traction, better control, and also better for the environment. Guys, I hope that visual gives you a little bit of an idea. Stay on all fours and go nuts.
Well, after an awesome cruise this morning from Wanangata, we're now at the base of Collingwood Spur Track, just off the Crooked River. Well, that brings us to the end of our Walhalla to Dargo Australia Day long weekend trip. If you have enjoyed watching, please subscribe to our YouTube channel, like us on Facebook. I'm JB, and we'll catch you next week on 4x4 Adventure Club.